stay in full guard position. And this is pretty simple. So it's deemed that I'm in a better position than my partner as far as the controls. Like Ian can submit, but the submissions aren't high percentage. So he's deemed to pass the guard. My job is I can sweep, submit, control. So I'm deemed to be in a far better position than my partner. There's a few different ways to pass the guard, and what we want to do is kind of cover the majority of them and look to number one, take away their elbows from the body, break the posture so it's harder for him to stand, and number two, look for chokes, arm bars, kimuras, etc. Okay, so the first things first is when we have our full guard, we want our legs up over the hip line, not below the hip line. If my legs are below the hip line, it generally means that my knees are flared and Ian get his elbows on the inside, and it's easier for him to break the guard. So I do want to kind of pull forward so his weight comes forward, and I want to climb my legs up and get him to cross nice and high. I do cross my feet and cross my toes, so it's like a mechanic. Just a side note, most people will pass the guard to their left-hand side, so you ideally want to have your right leg above your left leg. The reason being is if I cross them the opposite way, if he puts pressure up, there's no locking mechanic, where if I put it on top, if he pushes down, it's locked onto the leg. So it kind of gives me like a little bit of advice. Number two, I know that my partner will generally try and pass the guard to my right to their left, so I'm going to get a collar grip, I'm going to put tension. This means that he has to have posture on my body, which makes it hard for him to disengage, to push the leg down, etc., etc. What we're going to do from here is, anytime that Ian feels the hands in front grip, Ian's going to grip break, so by bringing the hands up together. And the concept is this, right? If you push the hands down to my body, you're helping me by going the mechanic. So you want to try to get your thumbs up and push the hand up, closest to the wrist to grip break. You then push the hand down and you hold it. The reason being you hold it is because if you grip break and I grab it, you grip break and don't hold it, then I'm just going to go straight back to it again. So you want to grip break. Number one is you're holding, pushing the hand high, head high, and you pin it down with both hands. At the same time, I can re-grip on the opposite side, but your hand's free now to start to open up the legs, etc., because you've got a secondary post, and I've only got one hand. Okay, we'll warm up that, guys, so one more time. First things first is I get a grip, I slide my hips under, make sure my legs are crossed up nice and high. From here, go to my cross grip. This will allow me to get the sleeve as well. Ian's hands go under, so it's a C grip under. He lifts his head high, pushes more onto the wrist, pins it down, two hands onto one. Make sure that he has posture, so his body goes down to his heels, his shoulders go backwards, and head goes to 7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, let's go. So the partner's full guard from here. The two things is I want a hand high and a hand low as a fundamental. The top hand stops my partner from setting up. The bottom hand stops my partner's hips from moving to like arm bars and sweeps. So Ian kind of goes no drums, so he reaches up, grabs my collar inside. So what I want to do is I want to bring my knees in nice and high, get my grip break, and here. The downfall about it from here is a lot of time that we try and move the body, but my balance is kind of compromised a bit, and I've got to leave my arm here. So a lot of time we're here, my arm's able to get arm barred, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to rock all of our weight onto our partner, and we're going to jump up to our feet in one motion. You can go one by one, because he can't grab my foot on this side because I'm holding it. So 1 and 1, and we're riding the partner's hips. What I mean by that is that I'm not here where his hips are, so he can backstep. I'm riding his partner, the hips high. Now I can start to twist to open the guard. And if they're not flexible again, they're probably going to tap from this. Yeah. Right. So we're in this position again, you guys are going to get to here again. And the issue that so it's not the issue. The problem is from here is anytime that I go to move here, if Ian cross grips, he can pull my arm, drag my arm, etc., etc. Yeah. So instead, we pin both hands. Now, I want to get underneath his hips. So I'm bringing my knee to his elbow. So his hips raise. And this will put a little bit of tension, like they may or may not open the guard up, but it's going to put tension onto it. All my weight goes onto my hands, step up, and I'm kind of like on my tiptoes, so my hips are forward. This also means that if Ian does try to move me, because I have the shock absorber system, because my heels aren't on the ground, it's easier for me. Now, simply turn your hips first before you turn your hand. Turn your hips, and now we can reach back to start to open the guard. You can come around behind it if you want to. You can push the knee down. You can grab the ankle. It's really up to you guys, but keep the weight forward. So like riding. Once leg transitions from here, here's this. Thumb in. Switch. the ground looks. Now he can't roll too far away from me because I've already got the wrist control, and I can just simply apply pressure, start to. And look, you may or may not get the choke from here, but you're definitely going to give them a problem to deal with. So the part that I see people have issues with is, you guys are going to do the whole like you're here, is that people try and come up this way and my weight's going forward, so I'm going to get broken down. Right, wherever I go here, Ian pulls forward. Does that kind of make sense? So I'm not trying to bounce up in one step with my head, so I kind of go, my knee goes to his elbow. So I have a frame system. Number two, as I come up, is I'm bending and my hips are forward, so I'm on my tippy toes. So I have a shock absorber system like I'm riding, okay? Now, turn your knees, don't reach backwards. So turn my knees, let's compromise, hand comes under, thumb goes in, nice and deep. Now, all you do is float on his hip, kick the leg to pass the guard. Can control to get the full guard pass if you want to. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Good job. So we're just going to have a look at the little bits and pieces, the small rocks, and these will improve your guard passing or give my partner, opponent, the opportunity to kind of hinder the guard pass. So really small details. Now one is, when I shoot my guard, I'm trying to shoot my hips up under my partner. So the way I normally do that is I pull my partner forward so his hips raise off the ground, and I can shoot my legs up and through. So I'm not trying to shoot my legs long, I'm trying to shoot my legs up high and close the guard up. I get my grip. Right, so Ian all of a sudden realises that I'm trying to, and gets his grip. So what I'm going to do from here is I'm just going to get the top motion. And this is a pretty easy concept, is anytime that Ian tries to step up to pass guard, my knees, my hands come forward. So anytime that my partner tries to step up, my knees, my hands come forward. I'm going to get the grip on the top side now, so thumb goes in. I'll let my partner realign so he can try and posture up again once I've got that. Now, what you're going to find is that because I have the hand on the top side of the head, it's very hard for you to get posture. Number two, it's very hard for you to grip break because it's on the top side. So anytime Ian tries to post up, because the weight's on the head, I've got this ability to keep him pinned. So for me, this is a better way to control it. The downfall about it is that I don't really get access to anything from here. So what I'm going to do is, as Ian's posting on my body, I'm going to do two motions. Is I'm going to lift my hips, swing my hand under, start to look for my first sweep. It's a pretty easy sweep to get. It's called a flower sweep or leg grab rollover sweep. The issue that I have now is that my foot's generally up off the ground so Ian can hip escape. So if I keep the leg pinned to me, he can't hip escape away. So if I just put my foot, there's nothing to stop him hip escape. So I do want to control this leg until I get my knee to the ground. Once my knee's on the ground, he can't hip escape because I've turned his body the wrong way. So the small details, let's have a quick look at that again. So we're going to start off inside the full guard. That's exactly the same concept, right? So nothing changes. I get my grip, Ian hand fights, pulls it down from here. So I get this grip. And what I'm doing is just waiting for Ian to start to move, pull my knees, and hand comes over the top. And then he'll try and get posture. It's quite difficult to do. Okay, slide my hips under, grab hold of the leg. So I'm trying to get my hand this way. And what I'm doing is, I'm not taking his leg to my head, I'm taking my head to his leg. Very important. So I'm not trying to pull the leg to my head. What I'm doing is, you think about it this way, is I'll come underneath my partner, kick the leg out, and sweep. So if you're having trouble with this, it's generally because your top leg is kicking my partner backwards. What I want to do, exaggerate, is I want to take my heel to my hand. I want to take my heel to my hand as far as I can. So the more I'm on top of the lever, from here. Everyone kind of goes, oh, he's on my leg. Yeah, no drums, kick your top leg, and they'll roll off the top leg. Once again, you've still got control of the leg. You can come to the top position from here. One more time. I want to swap sides on the end, if that's okay, buddy. So I'll do the start the technique as we normally do. So inside the guard, I will have my guard closed, okay, so from here, Ian grip breaks, boom, from here, I just get a grip. Easy peasy, so pull, thumb goes over the top, and hold nice and deep. As Ian tries to push up to get posture, raise my hips, swing my whole body to the side from here. So it's like you can have dominant punch on the side. Take my leg down now. It's not like I'm tripping the leg out, and take my top leg as far as I can, so that little big toe that's wiggling, take that as far as I can towards the head. So I'm not kicking down, I take that, and now I'm lifting the hands up. Hold, kick it, yes you can, and come over. Keep hold of the leg, knees to the ground. Once on the ground, then you're going to try and push away from here. It's quite a good control position. And Ian's very strong for a 140-year-old. You know what I mean? And then take from here. Okay, so flower sweep, leg grab, roll over sweep. 1 to 3 passes. Yeah. Honestly, it's insane. Okay. So number one, when we, I'm going to talk about the little details, and anytime that I'm going to turn this sideways a little bit here. So anytime that there's a space between my bottom and my heels, it means that generally my weight by default is forward. So if I get my knees wide and hunker down, there's a lot more pressure onto my partner's ankles. Secondly, if Ian does try to pull me forward, right. So if I have my knees together and up, this is better for Ian. So I do want to get my knees, I want to get my hips down. Number two is this, I always want to work what I call offside. So what I mean by offside is, for argument's sake, my right knee slides backwards, my left knee goes in. And you're going to find that this is going to start to initiate the guard pass. What I see people do from here is they try and put the knee in the butt first, and now I've got no bounce because it can sweep me left or right. So number one, get my grips. Number two, bottom goes down, shoulder goes backwards, and I'm moving my hips away to put tension onto the knees. Now I know there's a space inside my leg, but what I'm going to do is 45 degrees, so I'm sliding, knee comes in, cat stretch. My elbows stay on the inside, so the leg's now open. The issue is I don't want my partner to turn this way because I don't have a post system, so I'm always going to keep the control on the inside. So if Ian does try to turn his knee on the inside, I've got this grip position. No gi, it's very simple, I just hold the leg down. Okay, so one more time. So what we're going to do is just my partner's just going to test out, so he's going to try and pull me forwards. Now you can hold the gi as well, try and pull me forwards. So first things first is put my knees nice and wide. Right, so you can keep doing that in. Second is I try and slide my butt backwards and I move 45. Now I can start to step up to pass the guard. Same deal again, of course my elbows free of the hips, it's very hard for them to triangle me, I can come underneath. I generally don't pass my hand under. I just find if they're strong, they'll pull me forward. I am in that triangle or armbar. So I generally, from here, as I push the knee forwards. So this means that there's so much time and space for do throw the elbow up, whatever like that. I've got so much time recognition. But I find if I'm pushing here, my arm's kind of pinned into position, so it's better for him to attack. So I kind of like to just drop down, get the inside. So if Ian does try shooting, my elbow's on the inside position, which makes it harder for him to attack. So one more time, so full wide. So number one from here, guys, is this, my knees go wide. I slide my bottom down to my heels. Right leg goes backwards, left leg comes in, cat stretch, step up, hand on the inside, push the leg forward. So that'll be your basic guard pass fundamentals. Okay, 1, 2, 3.